Joining us now is Okpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx.
Good morning. Happy Friday.
It's Friday, yes.
Great.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Good morning, Tundu Abiola.
Good morning, OG. Extra effervescence every Friday.
Oh, you're always so excellent. How are you?
Very well, thank you, Daddy.
I hope we're going to have a good weekend. Good morning, Rufai.
Morning, OG. Where's the party at this weekend?
I'll let you know.
Where's the 100 million party?
I'll let you know after the show.
A fun party. So we're going to have a fun buying party for Dr. Abati.
Absolutely. As always.
With my Tukumbo form.
Well, all right. Good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In the United States, President Joe Biden paid his respects to families of the 1 million Americans who died from COVID-19. The U.S. is the first nation to reach the grim total during the pandemic that has dominated life for the past 2 years.
Must honor those we have lost by doing everything we can to prevent as many deaths as possible.
In Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday conferred the National Productivity Order of Merit Award on 48 Nigerians who have distinguished themselves in different sectors, including the chairman of APC Airlines, Alan Onyema, Globalcom CEO Mike Adenuga, the secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, as well as Dr. Chike Ihekwazu and Professor Akin Abayomi, who were conferred with the award for their productivity in the fight against COVID-19. The late Dr. Stella Adadevo was also conferred with a posthumous award for her performance in the fight against the spread of Ebola in the country. Under sports, Portuguese forward Cristiano Ronaldo has been named the English Premier League Player of the Month for April. The six-time Ballon d'Or winner has now won the EPL Player of the Month for a sixth time, overtaking Wayne Rooney's 5 to become the most of any Manchester United player in the competition. And Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday approved the immediate withdrawal of the country from all international basketball competitions for the next 2 years. The country's youth and sports minister said the president took the stance as part of efforts by the federal government to revamp the sport from the grassroots. Finally, under entertainment, actress Ashley Judd has opened up about her grieving process after the loss of her mother, country star Naomi Judd. The singer died at the age of 76 from apparent suicide a day before she was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame with her dual partner and daughter, Wynonna Judd. In an interview aired on Good Morning America, Ashley Judd said she wanted to address her mother's struggle with depression.
Couldn't hang on until she was inducted into the Hall of Fame by her peers. I mean, that is the level of catastrophe of what was going on inside of her, because the barrier between the regard in which they held her couldn't penetrate into her heart.
Now let's begin what's trending. Well, the governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, on Thursday endorsed presidential aspirant and a former governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is running on the platform of the All Progressives Congress. Well, the governor gave his endorsement after APC delegates expressed their intention to support the presidential ambition of Tinubu. Well, El-Rufai thanked Tinubu for visiting Kaduna and for remembering the state during its trying moments. Well, in his remarks, the presidential aspirant said if elected, his leadership will bring an end to banditry and killings. Tinubu also commented on other presidential aspirants in the race. He said he wasn't sure where the other aspirants were running to, but that he is running to Aso Rock. Let's take a listen.
I come to assure you, I am one of you. I identify with you, and I'm determined with you. If given the mandate of our party, that we will defeat all evils called banditry and give you the credit necessary to make it. we are serious about that, that's where we are running. Some may be running, I don't know where to. But me, I'm going to the villa.
Well, you know what? I am enjoying the humor here. You know, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been trending with all of his comments, especially when he talked about the fact that he's also a youth. This video to me is almost the same. But I really loved what he talked about during his visit. Most importantly, he talked about ending banditry and the fact that Nigeria cannot survive without adequate electricity. You know, I love the fashion industry. He talked about, trying to bring back the textile industry and all of that. Tundu, I don't know what your thoughts are, but I thought this was such a funny soundbite to bring in.
Yeah, I thought he gave a great address, but that's really not surprising. He's a veteran politician. He knows what to do. He knows what to say. As for Governor El-Rufai, I think he was just trying to show some appreciation. I mean, it's one of the stories that you shared on here when Asiwaju Tinubu went to Kaduna and donated like millions and squillions to the people there who had been attacked, that awful Kaduna-Abuja train attack. So all of this is in order, I guess. There's nothing surprising here. This is a boost for Asiwaju because we're looking at who is going to clinch the majority of that 7,800 delegates. And the Northwest, which is where Kaduna is, has the most delegates. That zone, they have 1,924 delegates. So this is excellent news for him. Another thing that he addressed, which I think is always important for him to do, and he has to do it constantly and consistently, this idea that he's too old to be president, that criticism about his health. He talks about it not being about physical strength. It's not a wrestling match. I thought that was funny. But he has to continue with that message because this might not have been an issue in previous electoral cycles that we've had in this country, but it's an issue now because of what happened in the first term of the Buhari presidency when he had that long leave of medical absence from this country because he was attending to his health. As a result of that, health, age, vigor, stamina is now a front burner topic. So it's very important that he stressed that.
I thought so too. Dr. Abati.
Okay, well, this is the second time that Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be visiting Kaduna State.
Yes.
He did when there was that Kaduna-Abuja train incident, and this time around they went as a presidential aspirant. And according to the governor of Kaduna State, he will be the first presidential aspirant to come to Kaduna. And to the point about not being a wrestling match, not being a physical thing, I thought I saw a short story and a photograph which showed that when he arrived in Kaduna, he drove himself with the governor.
Yeah, that's an old story.
Sitting beside him, but that story is also
it was circulated, but we need to debunk it because it was in 2015.
Well, but it was shown just to prove the point that he can drive himself. But he then went ahead and made the point about not being a physical contest. Now, this was coming a day after Abashi Lawal and Governor Jide Sanwo-Olu picked up submitted his nomination and expression of interest form at the party secretariat. And we were told that his form was endorsed by 12 governors and also by 370 delegates already. So in terms of strategy, you see that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is positioning himself as a front runner. And he was making the point in Kaduna that he's the man to beat in terms of experience, in terms of what he has done in the private sector, and that, people should follow the man who knows the road. Okay, so all this is typical campaign talk. And going straight to Kaduna the following day to the north is also, I think, very strategic. And the APC delegates who endorsed him, the response of the governor is that, look, if the APC governors in Kaduna, delegates in Kaduna State endorse you, then of course I will also endorse you. But this is our expectation. We expect you to deal with insecurity, empower the people, and also move Nigeria forward. And if that is the case, you can be sure of my support because it's not an individual thing. Once the delegates say they are behind you. Now, another strategy there is that there have been some stories that perhaps Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu may not have that stronghold on the Southwest that he used to have at a point in time. And you can see that beyond the Southwest, is reaching out, very strongly to other parts of the country, the Northwest, the Northeast. And in fact, we were told that when he picked up his phone, there was a group of Isiagu wearing supporters, from the Southeast who also showed up. But it's very interesting season. Someone said on this program this morning that it's also the season of absurdity, but it's also a very interesting season. And we would like to see, how all of this plays out. Some of the aspirants are not going anywhere. They're just consulting on their phones. But we've seen some other active persons, who are out there, like Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, going to different parts of the country. But at the end of the day, it's the delegates that will take the decision. Whatever is said now, before the day, may not matter. Some other aspirants may pick up momentum. 24 hours will seem to be a very long time in politics. But whoever is going to emerge on any of the platforms would have to be somebody who knows what to do about Nigeria and who is serious about the ambition. And we hope, finally, that the administration in power will give Nigerians the opportunity to make a wise choice.
Yes.
And that the process will be a credible one, because that is when Nigerians will be convinced that they have been allowed to vote wisely. And there is, of course, the international dimension to this. All the people who are campaigning and all of that, they should also know that at the end of the day, what will help Nigeria is for Nigeria to conduct credible elections.
Absolutely. Rufai, what do you make of this? Sorry.
So pound for pound, I think this is a strategic move. We're probably looking at Kaduna, because I think on the delegate poll, when you look at it critically, states like Kaduna have got big chunks of delegate. I don't know the exact numbers, but I think it's close to about 400. Kano too's got about 400. So doing well in two states. I mean, if you've got commitment for delegates in Kano, Kaduna, and the likes, what I like to call the KKK states that finally tilt the balance as regards elections, even in the general elections in this country, then definitely you can have some high up numbers there. But the final cutoff mark will be 780 and 7,800. 7,800 spread among over 20 or 30 candidates. It depends on what the screening comes out with. It's going to be a fight to finish. So he's trying to consolidate on those numbers. Hence, he's going strong to the north, because when you look at it critically, his power base, probably a lot of people argue, has whittled down in the south. And when you look at the election numbers over the years, it has whittled down. I mean, when you look at the two subsequent election cycles, he struggles to win Lagos. Not like the out-and-out 1 million vote mark at which he wins Lagos in 2011 during Goodluck Jonathan. Oyo, obviously, he's lost Oyo. The last presidential election, Akeredolu went to Ondo. Ekiti has been a fight to finish. Even Ogun State, there's been this talk about Yemi Osinbajo playing a strong role with Dapo Abiodun to get Ogun State. And that's why, hence the picture that came out that Dapo Abiodun was going around with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo when he was there. So it's just political, gaming amongst these people, and they're trying to consolidate across the mark. Like Dr. Bati said, this week will consolidate a lot, because this week is going to be that week straight before we go straight dead into the heat for the primaries, which is going to be exciting, and which I think will be filled with a lot of surprises. But secondly, I think while all this politicking is going on, I think we should not forget the issues. The issues are there. Take, for instance, my heart still bleeds about the fact that in Kaduna, he's going to still have people in the kidnappers' den.
That's the biggest issue.
And I'm not only talking about this Kaduna train attack. Students from Bethel School.
About a year now, yeah.
About a year. They're still there in the kidnappers' den. Nothing has been done as regards them. And some other people that are still kidnapped. And we've forgotten about them. We've forgotten about ASU too. The president was making a plea yesterday that ASU should please call off the strike and things like that. But we have forgotten about them, because who is to negotiate with ASU? It's no longer on the scene.
Yeah.
Predominantly, he's saying he wants to ask the president if he's to resign or if he's to stay. Then we have myriads of problems. Recently, I think there's a story that slipped across the cracks that we just took with very great levity. The fact that Nigeria has about 18.5 million out-of-school pupils, and 10 million of them are girls. You know what that means? It is bad for the country.
It's a disaster.
It's a disaster for the country. And if you have 18.5 million out of schools, you know what I'm seeing in my head? 18.5 million new terrorists that are ready and waiting to be preyed upon if you just give them a gun and 5 or 10,000 naira. Because these people are living on less than $1 per day, and 5,000 naira is a luxury to them. So these are the issues I'm not seeing all these people campaign hard and fast about, why they're doing all their politicking. But some
But
people
the campaigns haven't started.
Yeah, but some people want to absorb them and say, okay, now
Yeah.
they still need to get delegate number and get their delegate seats and all of that. But as they are saying all of this, as they are moving around and saying they should follow them because they know the road, they should also be talking about these issues and, and shining a light on these issues. Because when it comes down to the wire, these are the things that affect the politicians, the people the most.
Yeah.
And not the games the politicians play as they always do.
Yeah, sorry, you just reminded me of something. Sorry, I had a conversation with somebody yesterday and she was saying how, I won't name the aspirant, that where's his manifesto? He doesn't even have a manifesto. They're taking Nigerians for a ride. And I was like, it's a bit premature to publish a manifesto. That'll be after the primaries. Just wanted to make that.
But some people have been publishing some of their agendas online.
Yeah, you can have an agenda, but it's a bit premature.
With Tunde Bakari, I think I saw that.
Yeah, he did.
Did you see that?
Yes. But you can't, I wouldn't, for me it's not a criticism of the aspirant.
Yes.
You will wait until you actually get the tickets.
Right.
It's a bit presumptuous in some minds.
Yeah. The other conversation also is the fact that he may stand a better chance. I'm talking about Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu because of all the controversy right now within the APC. I don't know what your thoughts are on that really quickly.
I'm not sure. It's all down to the delegates. Yeah. This is the thing. And apart from it being down to the delegates, what's that euphemism you taught me? Mobilization of the delegates. That's what it boils down to, unfortunately. And this is why when people talk about how, democracy and the people's choice, well, no, we have to choose based on what delegates have chosen. So we don't get to choose who appears on the ticket. It's the delegates that choose. So our choice is somewhat limited.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, because this is about a game of numbers.
Yeah,
that's it.
And if you are not part of that number, you don't have a say in it. Okay?
Absolutely.
But the governors still, despite the fact that they are not allowed to push political appointees forward, there are still major players in the political parties, particularly in the PDP and also in the APC. So it's good to see, some of these aspirants trying to align with governors. And Asiwaju Tinubu already having 12 governors signing his nomination form.
It's something.
That's as good as having 12 governors behind him.
Behind him, absolutely.
But we have to mobilize the delegates.
But John Hancocks are what nothing in this country, especially in politics. So just to put it out there.
Well, anything can happen.
All right then. We shall take our final story, highlighting this video of a yet-to-be-identified policewoman who was filmed directing a traffic jam during a heavy downpour in Port Harcourt, Rivers State on Tuesday, May 10th. The video has since gone viral, with many Nigerians singling her out for praise on social media for the selfless act. Well, let's take a look before we come back for a discussion.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Tunde Abiola, I thought it was important to highlight this fantastic selfless woman. It's so different from what we hear about our police officers these days. Look at this woman, drenched in the rain, and she still had, she still had that look of hope in her face.
I mean, she's just incredibly dutiful.
Yes.
And that's why I've always, here and elsewhere, rejected blanket statements just criticizing police officers.
Exactly.
They do an amazing service. What the rest of us cannot do. While we're sleeping in our beds, they're out there. While you are in your car under a brolly, she's out there under a downpour, doing the Lord's work. Bless her.
Basically the Lord's work, because that's what it is.
I mean, she's a true patriot. I doff my hat for her. And I think these are kind of people we should reward in this country. These are people that deserve national honors and the likes, because people that, when you probably look at her salary, she's earning next to nothing, but it's the passion and the dedication that she keeps keeping up. But for me, on the contrary, it just shows what our society has become. We don't need a woman to go into this, level of pain to control traffic. It's because we're a society that has not evolved over the years. I think it was in the 1930s or the 1940s, there was an accident somewhere in Chicago. If my memory serves me right, then Garrett Morgan invented something called the traffic light since then. So if society and streets were well planned, we will not need our glorious police officer like this to go in the range just to control traffic. Traffic lights should be able to do this. And that's why we call on the authorities and the road designers, when they're designing the road, basic safety aids and traffic and all that, because she had to step in front of the car. What if she was hit? Just look, it was very close. Anything could have happened to her. You could have seen one very reckless driver just come on the road and all of that. So these are things traffic light can do at the same time. But kudos to her. She's a great patriot. And that's the true Nigerian spirit. People slaving and working so hard for this country every day. I just hope their politicians can work half as hard as this woman is working.
Absolutely. We need to honor this woman.
An indication that it's not every police person, woman or man, that is a bad egg.
Absolutely.
There are some of them who go beyond the call of duty to make a difference. That's one. Second, this woman, yes, committed, showing joy in doing what she's doing. But the police, why don't they give their officers
raincoats?
Raincoats.
Yeah,
and boots. So that when it is raining, they will be properly kitted and it will not be the Nigerian uniform that is being drenched and the officer also. That's the second thing. The third thing is that, well, she's right there in the middle of the road. So this is not probably a junction or somewhere where, there will be a traffic light, even if many of our traffic lights in Nigeria do not work. But also, in many parts of Nigeria, once it rains, you have traffic chaos.
Gridlock.
That's the problem.
The drivers, too, are reckless. Everybody is rushing. They will say they want to beat the rain. If this woman were not there, you probably will have, complete chaos on that particular road. So there's also something also about the average Nigerian motorist. But I've seen many examples like her, in Port Harcourt, even here in Lagos.
Yes.
Some of them are even far more dramatic. There's a particular man who will be doing calisthenics.
How did I know you were going to talk about this man? He always talks about
who will be dancing Sazuse as his country. And people will be giving them money and be applauding them. Which means that when Nigerians, when they see officers doing good things, they applaud them. Yeah. We've just had a National Productivity and Merit Award in Abuja, where the government focused more on employers of labor. But maybe there should be some special awards for, even ordinary people, officers of state, even at junior levels.
And people like you, Dr. Abati.
I'm not talking about myself. Thank you very much.
People like you, people like Tundra Abiola, people like Rufai Saini.
Thanks,
you all have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you all next week.